All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak for the spirit to do this lesson. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Shalom to the men of the Lord, prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom, shalom. And this is another message going in. More news and prophecy. And the thing that really happened came on my spirit as I was thinking about this was, Jake, man, y'all have to understand who it is that you're dealing with. You know, that's what I think is a lot of this passiveness that Jake is in right now, or folly, is not understanding that our enemy is our enemy. First of all, we have to realize we have an enemy. You know, there are Jakes that just don't think we have mortal enemies. You know, they're relying on news clips and articles and stuff from Esau, Edom about Maxine and Crown Royal. But we not only have an enemy, but he's our mortal enemy, and he's a psychopath. You know, as it says in Terminator. He can't be reasoned with. He can't be bargained with. Like Esau, Edom, they are literally programmed to be evil, to be the wicked, and to hate you, Jake, who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You specifically, they hate you. You know, Lord willing, I'll get a little bit of that. But I'm gonna play some of this from Dabu 7, which even he's standing up and saying, "Look at who they're targeting." You know, and this here is the face of Satan that you're looking at. I may not even play this whole thing, even though it's short.
It looks like they're targeting more of our people. And this time, it's the ones that they consider to be junkies and addicts. And this is downright crazy how this is unfolding. But it's the reality of what's going on here. We had Bill Gates and his partner come out live on TV and state, "Oh, we want to make sure we get the vaccines to the black people first." What? Like you care. This is the same individual, Bill Gates, that went over to Africa with no license and is on film administering vaccines to children that later could not walk.
Facts. Now you heard that, right? and this nigga still don't have a license. But he's the one that's on CNN and CNBC and all these other news networks. You know. Meanwhile, Esau's ready to take down your YouTube channel for telling somebody to take an herb. They'll be like, "You're not a doctor. You know. You can't give out medical advice." You know. But when you look at the hypocrisy of this place, you can see one of the biggest medical concerns in the world right now is what Esau has inflated this Crown Royal, and look who's giving the advice. Complete and utter hypocrisy, man. All right, and this is only the beginning of Satan's plans. So a lot of you just got to get out of that mindset, man. That spirit of mirth, because we want to get the hell out of here, and that starts with the remnant being fully woken up, and Esau Edom making his move on us, which he's very close to doing.
Same Bill Gates that doesn't have a medical license, who made his biggest investment of his life in vaccines, not tech. Did you know that?
Yep.
This unlicensed, not a doctor, Bill Gates, is pushing vaccines on the world. Something he is heavily invested in. That is called a conflict of interest. Where's the righteous judges at?
He said, "Where's the righteous judges at?" Dabu might be a Jake, man. You know, I can't tell personally, but the way his spirit is, he feels how we feel. Where are the righteous judges? And the men of the Lord, we're here, we're speaking, but our voices are being drowned out because you walk down the street and you ask somebody why they're wearing a mask outside, they look at you like, don't you know it's don't you once you watch the news, that's how they look at you, like you the crazy one, right? So that's what we're dealing with, and that's why you can ask the question, where are the righteous ones? Because the majority of people are just, they're the walking dead, man. They're literally like zombies running around here.
Huh? It's pretty open and closed, but it seems people are scared. I think 2021 is going to be the year of snapback, the beginning of it, because they're targeting our people, minorities. Now Cuomo says, "Oh, we want to make sure that the addicts, probably some that are in there, locked down in there, in these halfway places, they really can't leave, that are forced in there, they have to stay."
Right, because they're growing. The homeless population has been growing for years, and he ain't give a fuck about them people not once. All of a sudden, they're concerned. You had stop and frisk out there in New York. They didn't give a shit about you Jakes out there, man. They were stopping you, taking your weed, not even reporting it, putting it in their pocket. You know, selling. You had cash on you, they'll just take it. If they found drugs on you, you know. You have over 30,000 police officers in the NYPD, and they're basically a big gang, you know. And who are they targeting? Now all of a sudden he wants to do the right thing by you. You have to add these things together. It doesn't make any sense. And this is why I'm trying to bring out who we're dealing with. This man is a psychopath. All right, and we'll get a few reminders of that in the scriptures in a second.
They're going to stick them.
Yeah,
like guinea pigs. Dude, this is insane. They are targeting our people by groups of what they consider to be peasants, addicts, the poor, the minorities. Then it's going to be, oh, what about them vets that they never gave a dang about, they left in the streets? They're going to be like, come get yours too. Don't forget, they're already sticking every soldier that's out there that we've got on the clock right now with this. Especially all the ones that are going to be delivering it, like in Ohio.
So, you get the point. This is what Esau Edom is working on. All right, this is the same guy here. This is in Habakkuk. This is Habakkuk 1 and 6. It says, "For lo, I will raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation." That, and the Chaldeans is referring to, it's not the ancient Chaldeans, because the Chaldeans had already fell by the time of Habakkuk, but it's talking about America, basically Babylon the Great, which is in the scriptures. All right, it says, "That bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs." All right, they are terrible and dreadful, and their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. All right, so the original Chaldeans didn't make it that far, man. Only the so-called American Empire, has done the things being spoken about here. All right, it says, "Their horses are also swifter than leopards, and more fierce than the evening wolves, and their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from afar. They shall fly as the eagle that hasteth to eat." All right. Who is this describing? This is describing a so-called white man. Now look, verse 9, it says, "They shall come for violence. They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand." All right, because what did they do when they came here? They declared the entire Western Hemisphere theirs. And what did they do? They sent the Spanish, the Portuguese, the French, the English, and you had that little horn that rose up out of there, which is America, that took down the other three horns, which we call today America, but they're still remnants of those other horns, and they're all a part of the larger beast, which is what John the Revelator spoke about. All right, it says, "And they shall scoff at kings, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it. Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing this his power unto his God." All right. I'm going to read through 12. It says, "Art thou not from everlasting, O Lord Yahweh, my power, mine Holy One? We shall not die, O Lord Yahweh. Thou hast ordained them for judgment." All right, so Esau is set up to do this thing. That's why he's so crazy. That's why he can do such unreasonable, unfathomable things. like rape a grown man in front of his kids, called buck breaking, feeding kids to alligators, put you in slavery, and torture you for hundreds and hundreds of years, and not feel any remorse about it. Not only not feel remorse, but wax proud. You see how different this man is from you, and now today you can't see it. All of a sudden he's got this spell of witchcraft over you. You can't see it all of a sudden now. But the Most High created him to do this. It says, "Almighty power, thou hast established them for correction." All right, so that's why they were doing it. It was to punish us. And the Most High is a terrible power, man. Verse 13 says, "Thou art of purer eyes than to behold evil, and canst not look on iniquity. Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously, and holdest thy tongue when the wicked devoureth the man that is more righteous than he." So, so he's asking the Most High, is like, are you gonna just let this happen? You know, to the people who are righteous. What the Most High set this up, man. This is a punishment. This is how many times we went off, and this is how bad we went off. All right, but this is our final captivity. So this is who we're dealing with. All right, a crazy psychopath, man. Let's read a little bit of this article real quick, and I'll cut it short after that. A couple more precepts. It says, "The age of the internet of things, and soon to follow the internet of bodies, is now upon us." Look at this. The Rand Corporation, a think tank behind some of the world's most influential and frightening ideas and technologies. I'm gonna have to look them up one day when I get a second. These think tanks are wicked as hell. Has released a report titled "The Internet of Bodies: Opportunities, Risks, and Governance." So, y'all thought this was just gonna be a Maxine, or it's just gonna be a chip. It's just gonna let you buy and sell, but no, man. He's always got something else up his sleeve, you know. And people don't realize that this Maxine, they don't understand that this one is different. Okay, it has self-replicating proteins, RNA. All right, that once it gets into you, it can self-replicate. It can override. It can write over your current genes. They can basically edit you. And this technology has already existed for years via GMOs. They've made fruits and vegetables more resistant to pesticides. Their DNA of the fruit will adapt to be more resistant to pests. They can edit the gene. That's how you get corn. That's these giant blocks of corn. It's yellow. The original corn was short and multicolored. It wasn't these giant, long, yellow fruits that you see today, or vegetables that you see today. All right, they did that through gene editing. So this thing has existed for a while, and now Esau has mastered it to the point now he's ready to put it on you niggas, especially on people. All right, so you just thinking this is a Maxine, you know, you got another thing coming, bro. It says, what is the Internet of Bodies? Rand defines the Internet of Bodies as a growing industry of devices that monitor the human body, collect health and other personal information, and transmit that data over the internet. Basically, you're going to be a robot, a slave. He's literally going to try to overcome the Most High and take you, literally take you. This man is not satisfied till you got a chip in every organ of your body with a Wi-Fi antenna sticking out the back of your head, and these niggas going to control you. You know, you're going to walk by a Wendy's and be like, oh yeah, I'm in the mood for a Baconator. You know, you're going to walk in there and spend 40 credits or whatever the currency is. That's where this thing is going, man. This guy is off the chain. And why is he like that? Let me get the example here. In 1 John 3:11, it says, "For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another." All right. So the Most High commanded us to love one another, and that's how every nation should be amongst their own people. Every people should love themselves, love their own people first. And it's just logic, as it says. You have to put the mask on your the oxygen mask on the airplane. Put the oxygen mask over yourself first before you try to help someone else, man. You know. You have to clean yourself up before you can go out and help others. And this is why the Most High made this a law for us to love our brothers. You know, you're not supposed to be going out there helping, holding hands with Esau and our people are distraught, or helping any other nation. But let's see what Cain did, okay? It says, not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, which was Satan, which in the spirit he's born again as Esau, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil and his brother's righteous. So he did it for no other reason than because he was displeased at his own wickedness. So you see how this guy can't be reasoned with, man, and you can't just trust what he's saying. You can't you can't just look at the news and say he had a change of heart. He's not right. All right, he's not right, man. I'm telling you. This is Habakkuk 2:3. Okay, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Talking about the day of the Lord. Verse 4 is the main point. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. So there's something wrong with Esau, man. You know, he's programmed like Michael Myers. That nigga, I mean, you see Michael Myers, you know what he's there for, man. He might be dressed as something different, you know. He might have a knife hidden behind his back, but he's Michael Myers. That's what he does. He's programmed to kill. And like Jason don't do nothing. You don't ever see Michael Myers sitting down resting, eating or drinking or nothing. Every time you see that nigga, that's what he's there to do. And that's how Esau Edom is. But see, he's the devil, so he can disguise himself. All right. But as it says in Sirach 12:10, never trust thine enemy. You know. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get it real quick because I'm gonna read the rest of it. Because make no mistake, Esau is Michael Myers. Okay. He's just the devil, and he can and he can disguise himself. All right. He can say smooth things, as the scriptures say. His words were smoother than oil, but war was in his heart. You know, it was softer than oil, but yet with they drawn swords. That's Esau Edom. Salaki, I went to Second Ezra. My bad. That's a very good book too. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 12:10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humbled himself, that's what he's doing right now. He's humbling himself and go crouching. Yet take good heed and be aware of him." You know, and who are our enemies? Let's get that real quick. Now I'm jumping all over through the spirit. Just for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee, Salakia, Psalms 83:2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And that's what they're trying to do by reprogramming you. They're going to turn you into a goddamn antenna, all right, that can receive instructions at any given moment. You know, and you see how it's all connected. They want 5G everywhere, Starlink, and they want these chips in you, and they want you to take this vaccine, which is going to alter your DNA. All right, and it can all be linked. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So it names the enemies, the tabernacles of Edom, and there's plenty of evidence of proving who the Edomites are. All right. Let's go back. So this is our enemy. It says, though he humbled himself, back in Sirach 12:10, or 12 and 11. So though he humbled himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and be aware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. So that's where we're at right now. See, Jake is having a hard time seeing it, and a lot of you are not going to, 2/3 of you for sure are not going to see it, and then there's the elect who might not, some of the elect are not going to see it until it's their time to see it. It may not be to the very end, and the Lord has mercy on you, but nevertheless, the work still has to be done to warn the flock, warn the body. This man is a psychopath, Look at what he's trying to do. In order to qualify as an IOB device, the technology must contain software or computing capabilities, be able to communicate with an internet-connected device or network. And who do you think is going to control that? They're trying to hack people, basically. And ultimately, he's trying to get a hack beyond the ways of life. He's trying to get past the Most High. It says an IOB device must also satisfy one or both of the following: collect person-generated health or biometric data, be able to alter the human body's function. Hey, how wicked can you get, man? But hey, the scripture said that in the last days we will see these things. This is the last precept, and I'll close. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 7. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. And that's the Israelites. And even some of you other nations that are bucking up against this whole beast system, he's coming for you niggas too. All right. Verse 71 is the main point. It says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none. So that's what you're dealing with, a madman, That you let Jason Voorhees off in a slumber party full of full of girls. What is he gonna do, man? He's gonna slaughter them. All right. That's how Esau Edom is gonna be. You let loose a wolf, into a herd of sheep, man. It's gonna be a bloodbath. It says they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So that's who we're dealing with, a madman, a psychopath. It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen. All right. Hey, that's beautiful, man. All right, because right now you got Israelites that are part of the faith. They're in camps or whatever the case may be, but there's still an elect among even people who are doing the work. We don't know that we're chosen until we pass the test. All right, and that's what this is going into. It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. All right. So this is what we're dealing with. And this is why we're not to trust Esau Edom, especially now. We never could ever, really. But now he's getting desperate. All right. Because he knows that he's got but a short time, as it says in Revelation 12 and 12. All right. So with that, hopefully y'all brothers were edified. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rachach Wadash. Shalom. Wa Abba Babal.